What is up, everybody? It is your girl Nia, the video game her, and we are coming back to you guys with another Team Red Talks Nintendo. And we got a lot of good topics for you guys today. Lots of stuff to talk about, surprisingly. I mean, I thought that after the the presentation, we would have all that we needed to say out, but it seems like news and little updates just keep rolling out. So I mean, it's good for us because it allows our podcast to keep going, and it's good for y'all because you guys get to partake and discuss with us and all of that. So it works out for everybody. So before we get into these topics, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our panel. We're going to give you guys our introductions and we're going to give you guys a little bit of what we've been playing. So I'm going to start from my left to my right. And of course, the first person always on my left for some reason is Alex. I
That's
said
right.
that with so much spite, right?
All right. What's going on, everyone? Active in here. We're back for another week of Team Red Talks Nintendo. We got a couple guests here for you today who have actually had a chance to sit down and try out the Switch, so we'll get their perspective on it. We got some new topics about the Switch that came out this week, so yeah, it should be a good show. Let's get going.
Alrighty. So we're going to introduce our first guest, which is my boy Jason.
Hey, how's it
Jason,
going?
what up, fam? This is the first time you've been on Team Red Talks Nintendo. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Let them know what's been going on with you, you know, your YouTube, what's going on with what you've been playing. I know you were recently streaming, what was it, Nefarious?
Yeah, sorry, I was streaming Nefarious.
Yeah.
So you either, if you do know me, you either know me from two channels. I've been doing work on Nintendo Enthusiasts for 3 years now. I've been creating content there, obviously Nintendo, and recently, as of about 4 or 5 months ago, I started my own channel called HeyJay, which is the name that you're going to be seeing up in the chat. And what's up with me? Also last week, yeah, I got to try out the Nintendo Switch, so I've been very fortunate in that regard. And other than that, things are pretty cool. Things are pretty chill.
Awesome. All right, Coupon, go ahead and introduce yourself.
We cannot hear
We
you.
can't hear you. Are you on mute?
Cannot hear you. Hey, y'all, it's your girl Coupon, and I'm here to talk about Nintendo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there you go.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Now?
No, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay.
There's like mad feedback, but we can hear you.
Like how long?
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay. Well, like he said. Oh my god, clouded already. So yeah, Coupon Strides, Game of Diva, but just streaming, doing my business. Glad to be back. Talk about the Nintendo, see what's going on. And we got some people who actually got to play the Nintendo Switch, so I'm excited to hear their thoughts about it. So,
Awesome. All right, and now I'm going to introduce our second guest, my boy Rob. He's actually been here before. This is probably like his second or third time on Team Red Talks Nintendo. So I'm going to allow him to go ahead and introduce himself and let you guys know what he's been up to on his channel and things of that nature. Rob, go ahead and tell the people what's going on with you.
Yeah, so my name's Rob from Rule of Two Review, and you guys caught me off guard using your face cam. So I was scrambling to get home from work, and I just joined, and I was like, oh my god, everyone's on their cam. So I changed out of my work clothes. I'm about to shock you guys. I'm going to see how my camera thing works out. So I'm going to go like... There we go. Am I live?
Clothes on, right? There we go.
I got clothes. Way better, way better. So I scrambled to do that. I'm really sorry, guys.
No, you're good, Rob. You're good. You don't have to use your camera if you don't want to. It's whatever you're comfortable with doing, man.
I don't want to be the weird guy with my little icon and stuff. So anyway, yeah, I haven't talked to you guys in forever, so super jazzed to be on the podcast, talk about the Switch. Jason, I've never met you in person, so that's really cool. And yeah, I guess stoked to do the thing. Thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem, man. We always value your opinion. To be honest, I don't know. I think that Rob is one of the best guys on YouTube, man. Very, very good channel.
Cool. Thank you guys so much.
No problem. So first, if you guys see me looking over, I'm not trying to ignore y'all. I'm trying to see my topics over here on the side. So before we get started with our Nintendo Switch impressions, we kind of want to go over with you guys a little bit of news and a little bit of happenings going on in Nintendo's world right now. And so this actually wasn't planned for my for the topics for today, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in there because this one actually kind of slipped past me. I was having some internet issues earlier today, so there was a lot of things that I missed, but apparently today, Nintendo of Japan had a financial briefing today, and they're doing really well. So I'm going to go over some of the high points of what was discussed real quick. So first off, Pokemon Sun and Moon sold 13 million units globally. Like, that is crazy, dude.
I think it's at 15 million now.
Is it 15 now? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That is
the unstoppable beast.
That is crazy, right? Like, that is so crazy.
Pokemon on the Switch already. Like, let's go.
Oh my God. When Pokemon, like, I'm telling y'all, when Pokemon comes to the Switch, because we know that it will. Like,
that's happening. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's over.
I'm telling you, when Pokemon hits the Switch, that alone is going to push more units than the Wii U sold total.
I'm saying, like...
Guaranteed.
Pokemon sales, period. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Mario Maker 3DS. So actually, Mario Maker 3DS actually sold a little bit better than I thought it would. I figured people will probably want to play the Wii U version more. But it actually sold pretty decently. It sold through 1 million units.
Is that worldwide or domestic?
I think it's
US?
in Japan. I do believe
it's just Japan. That's
sell
not
through
bad.
in Japan. So sell through in Japan 1 million. What else do they have here? Also, they talked about some new games coming to the 3DS just to kind of confirm that they're gonna be supporting. They say. But I have a theory.
In 2017.
I have a theory about this, but we're not gonna go into that because today is not the day for that. So they're proving that they're gonna be having like parallel support between the 3DS and the Switch by letting us know that they have these major first-party titles coming, like Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, Box Boy, Mario Sports Superstars, Fire Emblem Echoes, Pikmin for 3DS. I'm surprised about that too. I thought it was out.
I thought that was out already.
No. Fire Emblem Warriors, which is also coming only to new 3DS, and then Ever Oasis, which actually looks interesting. I kind of want to look more into that.
Was Pikmin on that list too? Did you say
Pikmin. Yeah,
okay,
Pikmin
sweet.
3DS.
The 2D one, right?
Yes, the 2D one, the 2D side scroller.
Could be Pikmin 4.
I don't think
Nobody has ever
Pikmin
Pikmin 4 was a console game.
I don't think that's Pikmin 4. If I'm to be honest with y'all, I don't think it's Pikmin 4.
It could be.
I don't know. It could be, but like I would assume it's.
I think
not,
no. I think that if this was Pikmin 4, they would make a bigger deal out of it than they have been. I think
it seems
that
like a side game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I think this is just a side game, just to have something for the 3DS.
It's like their version of Triforce Heroes or something.
Yeah,
kind of.
I'm one of the people. Surprised us.
I'm one of the few people like really excited for that game, but I also don't think it's Pikmin 4. There's no way.
Yeah, it's not Pikmin 4. Come on, it's not.
Because they would have been working on that game for like 3 years.
Did Miyamoto say we are working on Pikmin 4? Did he say we are working on another Pikmin game? And then the community called it Pikmin 4.
You know what? That's actually a really good point.
Actually.
That's a really good point.
Because I was under the assumption they had said they were working on Pikmin 4.
See, I assumed
to be a downer.
I assumed as well. I mean, hey, it's good to bring everybody's perspective, you know. And so also they talked about third-party content coming to the 3DS, like Monster Hunter Cross. I guess that's what they're calling it in Japan.
Cross.
I don't know if it's cross or XX. I don't know. So crisscross. So that's supposed to be coming to Japan on March 18th. Oh my God, I can't wait until it comes over here. Dragon Quest 11, of course, coming to the 3DS as well as the Switch, but they didn't talk about the Switch version in this presentation. NES Classic Edition sold through 1.5 million units in globally. They also talked about their smart device business policy. They talked about how Super Mario Run had 78 million downloads on the iOS version. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, but only 5% bought it though.
Only 5% bought it. I mean, hey, they got their IP in people's hands, and I really think that was Nintendo's main
I think that the
purpose.
true objective of that was just to get it on people's phones to advertise the Switch to them.
Boom. Exactly.
For sure. And it was
worked.
like obviously an experiment for them to even do something like that anyway. And so, and like you said, they got their name out there. They got the Switch to kind of help promote through that.
Because like that's the
like
only reason to me that makes sense for them to make that game online always, is so they could push ads to you.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I think. They just want to get their IPs and their brand in people's faces. And what are people having their face all day? Their smartphone.
That phone.
That phone though.
That phone.
I know y'all don't care about this, but Miitomo is about to get a new update.
Hooray!
Everybody rejoice!
Miitomo's the hype shit guy.
I don't care what nobody say.
I
don't care what nobody say. I like Miitomo. I like being able to dress my meat up in them hot
Miitomo was
outfits.
fun for like a week, but it's just like you run out of stuff to do.
Hey, as long as I can make my meat look good,
Y'all
okay,
went hard
that's
on
all I care about.
Yeah, Miitomo was pretty cool for the first
Y'all
like.
definitely went hard on that.
I mean, like, I don't go hard on it anymore, but sometimes I will go and switch up my outfit. You feel me?
Like I was hoping Miitomo would like eventually turn into what the avatars are for the Switch.
Like the Xbox avatars? Is that what you mean?
Kind of like that.
So. I hope so. I still
I
have
think we could use like almost like a Me 2.0 upgrade to them. Like if they were going to bring them back, that would be the way.
Whoa, what is that noise?
It's coupon.
It sounded like an airplane.
I still have my fingers crossed for that. Okay, so Fire Emblem Heroes, of course, is coming February 2nd to smartphones. Oh my god, and Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is killing it. So Fire Emblem Awakening, which is an older Fire Emblem game on the 3DS.
That Fire Emblem cell phone game actually looks good.
Yes, and I will be downloading it day one. So in Japan, Fire Emblem Awakening sold 500,000 units, and overseas, everywhere else, it sold 1.4 million units. So Fire Emblem Awakening is still selling. That's crazy.
Wow.
And then Fire Emblem Fates, which is Conquest and Birthright, sold approximately 500,000 units in Japan, and then overseas 1.1 million units. So Fire Emblem is still killing it, my boy.
And they're great games too. It's like a series that's selling because it's good, and that's what's really exciting.
I've been waiting for Fire Emblem to finally get like that push that it needed, man. Like I'm so excited.
It's here.
Yes. So of course you guys know Animal Crossing Mobile is going to be pushed back to next fiscal year, is what they're saying. Also they talked about some Nintendo Switch things about the price of things we already know from the presentation with the HD Rumble and the IR camera and all that. And of course some of the software coming for the Switch, just to kind of summarize what they talked about. And they also stated for the Nintendo Switch, they want to create a vibrant player versus player scene, games that players can enjoy for a long time on the Nintendo Switch. And their aim is to maintain and amplify buzz. Remember when I said, look at how in the first year, Nintendo's got all these multiplayer games coming. They're trying to bring people into that ecosystem. I've been trying to tell y'all that, and they just confirmed it for me today. So y'all need to start listening to your girl, because your girl be on point, okay? They also mentioned that Splatoon is going to have voice chat through the smartphone. And then the 8-player multiplayer. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that because y'all already know how I feel about this. I'm just gonna wait until Nintendo confirms it. But y'all already know my stance on this, so I'm not gonna go on another tirade about that. So we're gonna move on quickly. And that was pretty much all they had to say from the financial briefing. So long story short,
that's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff.
I had no idea that was happening.
So long story short,
I didn't see much information about that today.
I know, that's crazy, right? But long story short, Nintendo's still making money and they're still doing well. So that's always good news.
Yeah,
Okay?
didn't they make like 65 million this quarter or something?
You know what? I didn't see that chart because I was trying to hurry up and get through it, but I believe it. They still doing good. So that's always good to hear. Okay, so the next bit of news that we have for you is that apparently Platinum Games would like to bring Nier Automata over to the Switch only if Square Enix paid for it. So of course
Yeah.
that comes without saying, people are willing to bring games over if they have that funding, that backing that makes it a little bit easier for them to do so. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to play the Nier Automata demo on
Fire!
the PS4, but it is indeed
I have
fire.
not. I'm
It
so
is-
jealous. I really want to try it.
It's so good. I think it's still available to download right now.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, I believe so. So download it when you get off of this podcast and try it out.
Yeah.
If you like Bayonetta, you're going to love the combat in Nier. And like another really interesting thing about Nier is that like they've got this really interesting camera dynamic. So it's kind of giving you like two types of play styles. They've got like this top down camera mode that you go into for certain scenes, and then they've also got like the tried and true like third person angle where you're looking over 2B's shoulder. So it's really interesting, man. I would definitely check it out. Sorry if it sounds like I'm trying to hurry up and get through all of this, but this is like
Got
a
all these
lot
beats.
of-
There's so much news. It
there's
is what
a
it is.
lot of stuff to cover, so I do
lot of
apologize for that. So if there's something that you guys want to say or add to kind of chime in on what's going on, feel free to do so. So moving on from Nier Automata news, apparently Kimishima has plans to make sure that they ship more Nintendo Switch units due to the pre-order status of the Nintendo Switches that they have already planned to come out globally. So
That's what's up.
that is really, really good news. I was luckily able to put down a pre-order for my Switch, but like in the case of like my boyfriend, he's still having a hard time finding a place where he could pre-order online because he doesn't have like a GameStop or like a game store near his area. So hopefully this means that people who want one will be able to get their hands on one. And it's also a good thing because that means that people actually want this thing and people are actually going out of their way to pre-order it. And that means that Nintendo Switch is probably going to have a really good launch.
They have a winner on their hands this time. It's very clear that people want this thing.
People definitely want it. Like, want more money.
It also kind of feels like Nintendo's learning a lesson because they're willing to like change the amount of stock they're going to put in stores for this thing.
True.
Right.
And that's a pretty un-Nintendo thing to do. So
That's
yeah,
very
like
true.
they're
Very true.
they're changing their inventory on the fly. That's not something
man.
they would normally do.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Because I know that, I know somebody made a comment on my page not so long ago saying about how here comes Nintendo again selling all this low stock and blah, blah, blah. But you have to remember, like, the Wii U shipped, like, what, 4 million or 6 million units, I think, at launch?
It was
like
3 million,
was
right, in the first 2 months or
3 million that they sold in the first month or two.
No. How many did they ship?
Oh, they shipped like 5 to 6.
Yeah, they shipped about 5 to 6 million units.
I think
remember
they were
that.
running off that initial stock for like the first 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. And so a lot of people were like, "Well, here comes Nintendo having this low stock number." But it's like, you have to remember with the Wii U, they shipped 6 million units off top, and they had a hard time selling through that initial launch shipment
Which
for like
is
2
why,
to 3
like,
years.
even if you bought a Wii U like 2 years later, you still had to get that first update time.
Exactly. So it's
Oh,
like
man.
exactly. So it's like I understand why Nintendo shipped like a low amount just to kind of be on the safe side, but it's also good that they're seeing that there's a demand for this. The demand is very, very high. So they're making it a point to make sure that everybody can get one, just to kind of not do like how they did with the NES Mini where all they have is what they have.
Yeah,
right?
that was bad.
That was really bad. So the next bit of news, not even really, well, I guess it's news. I guess they're confirmed. So apparently there's going to be more games coming to the Nintendo Switch. There are now 100 plus games slated for 2017 and beyond. And a lot of them are like smaller middleware / indie games. And there's nothing wrong with that because I like indie games. There's a lot of good ones out there. And some new ones that I see on here consist of, let's see, Project Sonic 2017, which we already kind of knew was coming, but that wasn't on the original info pic. Ocean Horn, which we knew was coming, but it wasn't on the original either. I don't know if people knew that Redout was coming, which is another Wipeout / F-Zero type of game that is coming to the Nintendo Switch. And there's some other things on here as well that I can't really make out in this picture. But I will have a link down in my description after this upload so that you guys can go and look and see what's going to be coming. So there's a lot of really good games coming in 2017 for Nintendo as far as I'm concerned. I think they got a lot of heavy hitters coming this year. I mean, you can't beat Zelda.
Yeah, their first year lineup is actually, if you want Nintendo games, it's strong because obviously we start off with Zelda. The next month you have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Then we have ARMS, their new IP. We have Splatoon 2. We have a Fire Emblem Warriors game. Then we have Mario, and Xenoblade 2 is going to drop somewhere in between that. So
I kind of feel like Xenoblade
that's a very good lineup.
Won't hold though. I feel pretty.
You think it's getting pushed?
You know
yeah,
what?
Man, I really feel that. I don't want it to happen.
A part of me is a little salty you said that because I really want that game this year.
Me too. Oh my god. I mean, I've been a fan of the first Xenoblade since way before X, so I really want Xenoblade 2. But I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong, but that doesn't seem like the kind of game that Nintendo of all company just announces and then releases.
Yeah,
on time.
but to be fair, like look what they did with X. They announced it 3 years early, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
maybe they've been working on this longer and just didn't announce it.
Definitely possible, and I'm crossing my fingers, man. I want that to happen.
Because remember, Monolith Soft,
they moved the same thing twice. I don't think they're going to announce Xenoblade 2 in the
don't do this to me. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But we have to remember too. Monolith Soft moved into a new building like what 2015. They moved into like a new bigger building and they hired a lot of new people. Like Monolith Soft pretty much is doing what Retro Studios is doing right now. They moved into a bigger building and they've been hiring.
You know, the only difference is they actually make games and come out with games and shows.
Yeah.
Retro, come on, give Retro some credit though. They were supposed to show their game in 2012.
Well. You mean before Tropical Freeze, right?
Before Tropical Freeze, and I don't think it was Tropical Freeze that they were working on at that time. Because there was a couple of instances where they were supposed to be showing a new game.
There was rumors and rumors.
I really hope they're working on a new IP. That'd be so exciting.
Okay,
yeah,
so
me too, man. Like, yeah.
Slightly off topic. Okay, so if Retro Studios is working on a new IP, what type of new IP, like what genre would y'all like to see them like tackle?
I was actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, dude.
No, you go first. No,
okay. I was actually asked this on like a Q&A thing I did like a month or two ago. Someone asked me that same question, like if Retro was making a brand new IP, what would you want them to make? Because I know that Metroid Prime is my favorite game of all time, so I love me some Retro. And honestly, like the best answer I could think of is kind of like a cheat, but it was really just like whatever game they want to make. If Nintendo's not saying, hey, like, yeah, like, I mean, it's tough because like some of my favorite kinds of games are like platformers, they're 2D side scrollers, and they're first person games. Yeah. They've already done a couple 2D side scrollers and a couple first person games. So I'd love just like a straight up platformer that was their own creation. But I wonder if Nintendo would even want them to do that, or like Nintendo would continue to have them like resurrect something or work on something they've already done. Right. But I'd love something like a platformer that they created. I think that'd be awesome.
Right.
Oh, I'm on the complete opposite side. I want them to make an open world game.
Yes.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that.
They are Nintendo's go-to American developers, and what do Americans want? They love open world games.
That's true.
And these guys are good at everything they do. So if you're gonna get a team to do it, it's gonna be them.
I actually do agree with that. Like for what it's worth, when I think about that company making a platformer, I would almost think of it as kind of like an open world sort of thing.
Kind of like Uncharted, kind of. Almost?
I just think they're like so talented that doing just like a 2D platformer is kind of waste of their time.
I agree. I love those Donkey Kong games, but
they're good. Like the Donkey Kong game's amazing, but it's just like any team Nintendo has can do that.
Well, what if they made a 2D Metroid game though?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would talk sweet business. That would be great.
Open world Metroid game?
Open world Metroid. But how would that work though? I mean, how could they
work in a lot of ways? Like, think about, like, I think there's a lot of room to get creative there in terms of matching the Metroidvania style with the open world style, and you're actually going around the world doing quests, but then you get upgrades like your armor, your ship, which lets you go to new parts of the world. And it'd be kind of like a blend of Metroid Prime and just the
Like a
classic.
Zelda almost.
Yeah,
right?
it sounds like
Like a
it's
Zelda,
kind of
but
like
like like Breath of the Wild, but like sci-fi, and you have your own,
that'd
and
be
you have your
cool.
spaceship.
That'd be really cool.
And you can
Breath
actually
of the
fly your
Wild, but
spaceship. It's
sci-fi.
not just like something that teleports you. Oh,
Yeah,
there's so
like
much
pick
to
a
do.
point and go.
Like No Man's Sky.
Oh
No.
shoot. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to imagine that because I'm so used to seeing Metroid in one type of,
Yeah, well, I got super
area.
excited
Yeah,
with
Metroid is
Star
usually
Fox
very
for Wii
condensed.
U. I was like, oh, all the things it could do for Star Fox for you, and then they gave us 0, which a lot of people don't. I liked it. A lot of
Zero
people
was
liked it.
very depressing to me.
I'm with you though, because like I really like Zero, but so have to acknowledge like the mistakes they did make with it, and it wasn't the Star Fox that I was waiting for the last decade. Like I liked Zero, but it was not the game I think we were waiting for.
I feel like
Yeah.
that wasn't the game Platinum wanted to make.
Probably true, but I mean it wasn't Platinum's baby.
Yeah,
right?
they
Like,
just
I
got
think they brought him
hired
on
on.
after the fact. Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Fix it on the Switch.
I don't know. I don't know what Retro is working on, but whatever it is, it's big. 'Cause
It's got to be something big. They
they're
keep hiring people.
still hiring people. Like,
Didn't they just hire some,
still.
like, put up a job ad like a couple days ago?
yes.
Hang on, was it like this might be a really stupid question. Xenoblade 2, is it actually confirmed that it's Monolith that is working on it?
Yeah, they're working.
Yeah,
on
I
it.
think their logo showed up right before the trailer.
Yeah.
Didn't it show Monolith? Okay.
Yeah, it showed Monolith. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Good
it's
question, because
them.
you can
That
see
team is,
Retro
I think,
doing
their
like
second
a...
biggest team now, isn't it?
Yeah,
After
they're-
the Zelda team?
Yeah, the Monolith team is big enough to make 2 games at the same time now.
Same with
Simultaneously.
Retro.
Yep, same with Retro. They're doing the same
Here's
thing.
what they're gonna do with the Breath of the Wild team. Like that thing was so big. Like how are they gonna disperse that?
I don't know.
Put them all on Metroid, man. Just make it happen.
You know what? I actually think Monolith Soft would actually do a really good job at making a Metroid game.
I totally agree. I absolutely think that could be really cool.
Because
and that could give us
yeah.
like Jason, like that open world Metroid you're talking about. I
Right.
think Monolith could probably
Monolith
knock
could
that
do
out of
it.
the park.
They can handle that.
Because like look
Yeah.
at like the different types of terrain that was in Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh
like
my god, that game was so good.
All of
Literally
those-
just take Xenoblade, reskin it with Metroid skin.
oh, you know
The
what?
environments are all done. The thing is, they could do that.
I wouldn't even be mad, low key. Like the only thing it would need is more verticality, but other than that, like
Yeah.
my boy,
But, and different combat, like way different
Yeah.
combat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have to
they
be
could,
more
sure.
they
time
could
heavy.
totally do it. Because
Yeah,
remember,
actually,
go ahead.
I'm sure they could repurpose like a lot from that game, and we wouldn't even notice, right?
I think they could, but
Yeah.
because remember when they first announced Xenoblade Chronicles X, and they had that, you know how in Xenoblade Chronicles X they have like the comm system that you interface with when you first, like I guess, awaken in that little, what is it, little
And the
pod
little
or whatever.
pod
Capsule thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks a lot like Samus's like visor screen. And you remember everybody was freaking out like, oh my god, is this Metroid? But it really wasn't Metroid. It was actually Xenoblade. I don't know if y'all remember that. I remember it very vividly because I thought it was Metroid at first. So, anyway, I think they could do it. To be honest with you. Okay, and so our last bit of news, not even really news, it's kind of like a subtopic that it really honestly irks my nerves, and I don't even really want to talk about it, but I feel like I need to talk about it just because of how asinine it is. And so I don't know if you guys have seen this article floating around, but there was an article written by somebody at Polygon, and I've even seen some people on social media saying this, echoing this as well before this was even like a thing, and it gave me heartburn then too. But so I guess I'm just gonna get right into it before I just flake out and decide not to talk about it. So the title of this article is called "Totaling the Hidden Costs of Owning a Nintendo Switch."
Oh boy.
I've heard rumblings of this whole topic here.
This is the most annoying article I think I've ever read, ever.
They know how to push buttons over there.
Oh,
I am... Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into their reasons and what they feel like is a hidden cost, okay? So we're going to start with the SD card. And they specifically say a 64 gigabyte micro SD card, and they give a price of $27.49. And, you know, they do make the case that because the Switch only comes with 32 gigs of built-in storage, that's not really a whole lot of memory if you are a digital download type of person. And to a degree, I kind of agree with that one because 32 gigabytes really isn't a lot if you like to download
If you're going
games.
digital,
Yeah, if you're going digital, which a lot of people like to do with portable systems, I mean, technically, it's like meh, you know. So it's like whatever. I could see how they make a case for that, but at the same time,
if you're going digital, you're going to
if
be buying a
you're
hard
going-
drive on anything.
Yeah.
See,
That's true.
that's exactly true, man. I ran out of space on my Xbox so long ago, and I'm trying to shop for a stupid hard drive, and it's like, I mean, really, we all run into that problem with any console, really. So
Yeah,
But
with,
I agree.
with the
That's a-
PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, regardless if you go digital or physical, you're buying a hard drive. You have to.
Yeah, man.
And just
Yeah.
like that, y'all are putting bullet holes in this man's logic,
Yeah.
right?
Next.
So and just like
Call
that,
me Rambo.
because a lot of people forget this too. I mean, I don't doubt that there's gonna be some third-party games on the Nintendo Switch, because if the Nintendo Switch does have the demand that it does have, I do expect to see the Call of Duties, the Maddens, the NBA 2Ks, whatever. So those games tend to be a little bit more they tend to take up a little bit more space, because not everybody are compression kings like Nintendo. But at the same time, if we really want to be technical, because games are so freaking huge now, 500 gigabytes really ain't nothing to like shake your fist at. I mean, it's not really anything to like get overjoyed about, because on my Xbox, like, it was super easy for me to like fill up my 500 gigabyte hard drive, like
90 gig
Oh
of
yeah,
game.
definitely.
and then like the fact that the Nintendo Switch is like, the games in general probably won't be as big as on the PS4 and the Xbox One, is because of the graphical differences. I don't really think that's even going to be that big of a deal. Like, think about how big Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was on the Wii versus how big it probably was on like the PS3. That's probably what we're going to be looking at on the Nintendo Switch, if we want to kind of gauge. But I'm gonna move on to that from that. So this article hurts me. Okay, so the next
This website hurts me.
so the next hidden cost is the extra Joy-Con controllers.
Joy-Con boys.
An extra controller is a hidden cost.
Apparently.
And the Switch already comes with 2 controllers. Bear that in
Exactly.
mind. You can play 2 players right out of the box.
Boom.
But if you want to have four players,
Mhm.
it's $80 a pair, which is still, so to buy 2 more controllers, you're paying the same as an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. Get out
Boom.
of here.
Boom. And just like that, gunshots in your logic.
Okay, I'm gonna write a counter article to this. after.
So crazy.
Does this person say like why they feel buying more controllers is a hidden cost as opposed to just a thing that everybody does?
It
Like,
says
what's his defense for
each
that?
one can function as its own gamepad, but for multiplayer games like ARMS, you'll want a second set of controllers. But isn't ARMS a 2-player game?
Yeah, but when your friends already have a controller, you're asking them over play it.
Yes,
Don't
That's
have to
ridiculous.
buy.
that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Like,
I
dude,
can't
hey,
even. I
let's
can't even.
play some
process-
ARMS. Bring your controller, your Switch on over so you can have your Joy-Con.
That's so ridiculous. Like, if you want to play 4-player on any console, if you have an Xbox, you have to buy 3 more controllers.
Right. So,
Yeah, exactly. It's not like what Jason was saying. I mean, if you just want to play 2-player on your Xbox,
You can already
or
do that.
PlayStation,
You can already do
I mean,
that.
I bought a second controller for my PlayStation 4, so I must have put money into a hidden cost that I didn't know about for my PlayStation.
Obviously.
That's why this article is so funny.
That one's the most ridiculous on the list as far as I'm concerned.
I think so too.
That's like saying gasoline is a hidden cost for your car. That's like the
Right.
Of course
stupidest
it
thing
isn't.
I've ever heard.
Ah,
Oh man.
Of course it is.
driving me
Who drives a car with that?
nuts.
Just like someone in the chat, the Switch's true hidden cost is gas money to drive to GameStop to buy a game.
There
Exactly.
you go.
There you go.
How dare you, Nintendo?
Damn you.
Ah.
It's truly unbelievable. A console that comes with 2 controllers has a hidden cost of buying a 3rd and 4th controller.
That makes too much sense though, Alex.
That's saying a lot though. We do
I
get 2
guess
controllers.
that makes too much
In a
sense.
lot. Nah.
And so the next hidden cost is going to be, of course, the Switch Pro controller.
that's an optional cost.
Yep. Yep.
Counted hidden. It's optional. You don't have to get it.
Yep.
Every game works without it.
And also another hidden cost, the Joy-Con
what's the
charging.
reasoning for the Pro Controller?
Let's see. Out of the box, you'll be able to stick with the Joy-Con unit. Stick the Joy-Con units to a Joy-Con grip for a combination.
Oh, Coupon, you're echoing.
Yeah. That will resemble a traditional gamepad, but even then, the layout and feel of the buttons and sticks may not suffice for certain types of games. Fighting games come to mind immediately, so you will probably want to spend the money on a Switch Pro controller, which is laid out like an Xbox One gamepad with offset analog sticks and the familiar style D-pad.
If you're that hardcore into fighting games, get the fight stick.
Anybody who's that hardcore into fighting games will get a fight stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's on any console.
Right.
Yeah, like for me personally, the Pro Controller is a must buy because I'm just not fucking with these Joy-Cons. But like, it's not a mandatory buy for everybody.
Definitely not. It's optional, just like any other console that you
Exactly.
buy.
That's like saying you have to buy the Elite controller for the Xbox because it's better than the standard controller.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison. And how much is the Elite controller?
$150.
$150.
Oh, $150.
You could probably buy like an Xbox 360 for that price. Like,
right.
So
Crazy.
I just think it's such a weird double standard, man. Like, that's
a
really
very bizarre thing for them to say.
So bizarre. I can't talk. And another hidden cost apparently for the Nintendo Switch is that the Joy-Con charging grip is a
you don't
hidden
need that.
cost.
You do not need that.
You don't need it.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't need it because you can charge it on the Switch itself.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised to actually even see that in my life. I don't think I know anybody who would buy that.
It's
No, not with
it's actually
Joy-Cons
pretty
that have-
unnecessary.
Yeah, the Joy-Cons have 40 hours of battery life, I think they confirmed.
20.
Like, even 20. That demolishes the other two competing boxes. So
Yeah.
that's just...
Oh, definitely.
And, like, you can buy... Like, the Xbox One requires batteries, so are batteries a hidden cost? Or if you want to buy the charge kit for that, or the thing that lets you put a different headphone adapter into your Xbox One controller, are those hidden costs? No one ever wrote an article about those hidden costs, but only for the Switch would they do this little checkbox of all this BS, man.
Now,
Man,
for me, the only thing with this charging grip thing is I think they should have gave you the charging grip, not the normal grip. I think it's weird that they're charging you separately for this, but at the same time, it is not necessary because you can charge it on the tablet itself.
If the Joy-Cons have a 20-hour...
They got 20-hour battery life.
20-hour battery life. I mean, do you plan on gaming for 20 hours straight?
Yeah, because at some point it's going to end up having gone back onto your Switch. Like,
right.
within
At
20
some
hours,
point.
right?
I can't imagine somebody's going to have their Joy-Cons detached for 20 hours straight.
That's crazy.
Okay. Okay. So the last hidden cost, guys. Drum roll.
I'm gonna
Games.
No.
Games?
Games.
Was games the answer?
Games.
Who wrote this?
Games
Who
are
wrote
hidden
this?
costs.
Who wrote this?
Call it
Samit
time.
Sarkar from Polygon.
Games are a hidden cost, folks.
On Twitter at Samit Sarkar.
Games are a hidden
my
cost,
gosh.
my guys.
What's the justification for that? What does this person say about that?
Okay,
It says-
it
oh,
says
go
here,
ahead, Alex.
sure, games aren't technically a hidden cost of buying a console, but it's worth noting that unlike the Wii and the Wii U, the Switch does not come with a pack-in game. Reggie Fils-Aimé, president of Nintendo, blah, 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 said they wanted to keep the console at $300.
That's the only reasoning that they gave, is because it doesn't come with a free game that none of the other consoles have come with for like a long time. I think PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 was probably the last non-Nintendo console to come with a game. But
Right.
you just because Nintendo was cool enough for 2 generations in a row to give the world a free game, like now they're obligated to
Right.
do it forever. That's what it sounds
I feel like that was more of a courtesy with the Wii and the Wii U, but it's not like
Yeah.
something that they have to do. It's like Like, I was
I'm
saying
getting heated,
something. That's what I'm saying. This is the most annoying article ever. Like, I feel like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that Nintendo does that they deserve heat for. Like,
Sure,
I'm one of the
yeah.
ones on my channel, like, I keep it real about Nintendo, whether good or bad. But there are instances like this where people want to, like, create these arbitrary rules that only apply to Nintendo. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Now I'm gonna
Why?
play devil's advocate because I actually believe that Nintendo created this issue for themselves because they gave you a game with the Wii and the Wii U. Pack-in titles. The Wii was sold because of Wii Sports, correct?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I can
absolutely,
see
yeah.
that.
And the Wii U, they gave you Nintendo Land, which was an okay game, but like this one, they're selling you the console, and I guess they don't feel that you need a game to sell the idea of the console.
Mhm.
But at the same time, their tech demo game, they're selling to you separately for $50.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
a
I
big
agree.
loss.
I agree that I don't want to say it's a mistake, but I do think that it would have been smarter for them to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
you know,
at
packaging.
least Snipper Clips, because Snipper Clips is a $20 game. That could have been a
Yeah.
pack-in title.
See, now I don't disagree with the fact that it would have been a smart choice for them to pack in a game. But to
Yeah.
go as far as to say that it's a hidden cost to not have a pack-in game
Yeah,
is
that's
asinine
crazy.
for me, at least. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they haven't obligated themselves to have to do that. I think that's a totally unfair thing to lobby against one company just because. Like,
That's crazy.
I
To
just
me.
can't. I can't even get behind that. I can't even follow that logic in my brain. It just doesn't think that way.
That is.
I don't think that way.
Crazy.
Yeah, because if you look at the other side, like Xbox One 2013 launched at $500, no game.
Exactly.
PS4 2013, $400, no game.
Yeah.
If you're comparing to now, I guess the comparison is you can go buy an Xbox today for $250. It comes with like fucking 12 games because they're just giving that shit away.
Because
Sure.
it's been out
And-
for a little while, but when it first came out, that was not the case. And I think, you know,
Exactly. This is a new console.
exactly,
Like, that's like, you
Yeah.
can't make that
exactly.
comparison.
But the problem is they're coming into they're bringing out a new console when the competition's out with hundreds
Yeah.
of games.
I mean, and I
in the middle.
understand
it's
that.
cheaper. That's the thing.
And
That's the
I
problem.
understand that, but at the same time, you could probably say the same thing about the PS3 and the PS4 if we want to talk like real talk, because when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, they didn't really have any exclusives. Like, not even multi-platform games were exclusive to the newer gaming consoles.
Right,
They were
right.
still playing multi-platform games that they were sharing with PS3 and 360. You know what I mean? Like, you could still argue that at the beginning of this generation, you could get a PS3 or 360 and still be good. So it's like, I don't understand why people want to put Nintendo into this little category where they have to follow this set of rules that apparently only apply to them. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
Right.
I mean, like,
I got what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, 2 generations in a row, they gave us a free game.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
I
make a
wish they
valid
would have
point.
I wish they would have put one in there, and I don't disagree
Yeah.
with that. But to say that
Yeah.
that's a hidden
Like,
cost
in
is
that
crazy.
regard, they created that expectation.
I see what you're saying, and
Ugh.
it's definitely not wrong. Like, they did create that expectation in a way by doing a really cool favor to the gaming world by giving us free games for a while, and that was really great. We got lucky, but man, I guess those times are over.
I think that's
big deal.
a change because of Kimishima. Mr. Businessman doesn't want to give away free
Like,
stuff.
look, we ain't giving away nothing for free. If you
Yeah.
want something, you gotta pay for it.
We ain't giving these bitches anything for free. You charge for it.
Exactly. I don't know, Kimishima, we might be cool, but I don't know, man. I kind of do like being catered to a little bit, my guy.
Sure.
Okay, so now that is all out of the way, we spent 45 minutes talking about this, so we gotta
It was
kind
good
of.
talk. It was good talk.
Okay,
Good talk. Yeah.
so
Switch it.
now we're gonna switch.
Oh,
I can't even do that with a straight face. So now we're gonna switch to our Nintendo Switch impressions. Wait, who got the soundboard popping? What is this? Was that a real snap?
Somebody, yeah.
Because that sounds like it's right from the commercial. So we've got Jason and Rob on the show today so that we could talk about the Nintendo Switch, because these gentlemen have had the opportunity to play it IRL, and I'm a little jealous about that. I could have did it this weekend, but your girl has monetary obligations. Can't travel like that like I used to.
I was lucky
Okay,
Nintendo came to me.
that
Kind
is
of.
that's
To my
awesome.
city, to my city.
Can they come to
Not
me?
to me.
You know,
I was about
like
to say,
shoot,
Reggie
come-
showed up on your front door.
Well, you know
with a
what?
Switch.
They
That
came
didn't happen
close
to
enough
me.
to me, but I couldn't travel.
I need them to come to my town.
Because you know they were in Texas this weekend.
See, yeah, that's what I was gonna. I think so. PAX South, right, is where they were doing it, which is
Yeah.
where you are.
They're at
Yeah.
PAX South.
Like
And then Jason,
that
I'm
3
curious,
hours for me.
where'd you go?
I'm in Toronto, so they just had it here in Toronto for the media on Friday and then the public on Sunday.
I still can't believe
Oh,
they
okay,
didn't
gotcha.
come here to Vancouver because Nintendo of Canada headquarters is here.
They're making their way through the country, so they're gonna get
The
there.
thing that I did hear though is in my local area, there's a GameStop that will be getting the Switch in there for like the people to try. So I'm waiting for that. At least.
Oh,
Okay, so
I think
I
they're
just
stopping in 2
put
other Canadian cities.
I just put a little nugget in my chat about the Nintendo Switch because me, Alex, and Coupon, we have our own questions that we just want to ask you guys while we're on air, and then we're gonna take a couple of viewer questions like towards the end, just kind of wrap it all up. So I can't really follow the chat as closely because I'm trying to focus on all of this over here. So I need some help, please, if y'all could
Sure, well, you got
help me out.
help
So
here.
I feel like I've been talking too much, so I'm gonna give it over to Alex. So Alex, why don't you go ahead and ask a couple of questions? You could give the floor to anybody. Do it however you want. And,
Sure. So, how long did you guys get? Like 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that?
go ahead, Jason.
I got 3 hours. 3 hours in the hall where I can pick and play whatever I want.
Okay. And like all of the, I guess the launch titles were available to play?
Yeah, there was quite a variety. I've got my list still here. There was like 12, 14 games, all the ones that were pretty much shown off in that presentation. Also everything that you've been seeing all the media outlets reporting on, like from the New York event and all that. I'm pretty sure it's all the same game set that they bring around.
Okay, so I guess like first question is like build quality of the device. Does everything feel nice? Any creaking or like do the Joy-Cons slip on like very smoothly, stuff like that?
You can have this one, Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Or
So
Robert, sorry.
oh, that's it. How dare you? You just met me. You don't know my name. I can't believe it. So yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate because I've been able to talk about it quite a bit since I went to the Saturday New York event. Now, probably coming up to a month ago. I made a video. I've got a bunch of footage and stuff that you can see too, and I've really had time to think about it and talk about it a lot. But basically, like the number one thing I can say to answer your question, Alex, the thing that I was so freaking happy with, and Jason, I'll be curious if you agree, is really the build quality is solid, you know, and I love the Wii U and I love the gamepad for all of its faults, which you can make the argument, and some people had joked about it's almost like a toy or like a Fisher-Price build kind of thing. And I don't think it's that extreme, but it is a little bit more of a toy sort of build quality. And to me, I did not think that the Switch felt like that at all. I think it felt really, really solid. The Joy-Cons really, really felt like pretty quality tech, you know, not even getting into the actual things that are inside of it. But as far as build quality, I think it feels like a pretty solid, really sleek device, not a toy at all.
That's good. Because that was always like one thing with the Wii U, the gamepad felt fairly cheap. So it looks like they're using higher quality material this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I would definitely say
that tablet is indescribable how slick it is, and I just kept staring at it like, how is this small tablet doing so much? How did they cram so much tech in here? And even the Joy-Cons, it's the best feeling Nintendo product probably that they've ever made. It doesn't feel so much as a toy as it does.
Feels more like a grown-up product.
Yeah, it feels like, you know, a cell phone, a tablet.
Okay.
And the only thing I would say that feels a little dinky is, and this is kind of a funny story. So you know how there's a little kickstand on the tablet, right?
Yeah.
So I pulled that out, and it's a very like floppy piece of plastic, and I completely forgot I pulled it out, and I went to slide it back into the dock, and I got some resistance. I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I just like gave it a clunk, and I saw the piece fly off. And there was the Switch guy next to, like the Nintendo guy next to me. I just look at him like, "Oh shit." And he's like, oh, don't worry.
no.
He's like, oh, you broke it. I guess you got to take that one home with you.
Yeah, I should have played it that way. Oh, this one's broken. It's no good.
Oh, you don't want this one anymore.
You
I'll just
don't
take it off your
want
hands.
But he was like, don't worry about it. Like, Nintendo designed this with it in mind, and he just grabbed it and like clunk,
Popped it back
just
in.
popped it
That's
back in.
awesome.
So
That's
really good to
smart.
know.
yeah,
And
so
that's where the USB port is under there as well, right?
I think it's on the bottom. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's on the bottom. Like, you mean like
I
behind
think it's like
the
hidden
kickstand?
under the kickstand, right?
Oh no, there's
Is it?
nothing behind the kickstand.
Actually,
But,
I thought it was on the thing that you slide it onto the little stand.
Like in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's under, like, if this is the
Yeah.
it's under here.
No, okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I didn't have a chance to mess with the kickstand. Like, what we played a couple of games that were on the actual Switch tablet controller and using the Joy-Cons and stuff, like snipper clips they had set up that way. But it was
Yeah.
already that way, so we really, all the demos that we did didn't give us an opportunity to mess with that, with the actual pulling the kickstand out. So which is probably
Right.
good, because Jason, I probably would have done the same damn thing you did, broken the Switch right in front of one of the guys.
Oh man.
They would have been like, "Get out of here! You're breaking shit. Can't be here."
Can I just take this one with me since it ain't working?
Well,
Yeah.
since it's Canada, everybody apologized 10 times, and then we all went out for.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's how we handle
Y'all went out to Tim Hortons, right?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Did either of you get to tinker around with the OS at all, or was it already like set on the game and you kind of just go?
So I did not, and I don't even know. I probably was in a couple of situations where I could have if I thought about it. But to tell you the truth, it was the last thing I was thinking about that whole day. I was too excited about the games and the controllers and the Switch screen myself, so I didn't get an opportunity to.
I didn't either, and I'm not sure if the builds actually had that in there. The only glimpse I got that, you know, these things might really be set up in demo mode. I was playing Street Fighter, and I asked if we could switch from. So there's two modes. You can either play with the new graphics, the HD hand-drawn graphics, or the old like 16-bit style.
Oh,
And when he went to switch, he kind of went to like this black screen where he could like select from 4 menus. It was like very basic, cheap looking.
Oh, okay.
And when he switched, it was funny because you got the switch sound that happened when he switched. Exactly.
Huh.
So I'm thinking that sound effect might be a key part of the UI. That's the only guess I have.
I'm actually okay with that.
Me too. I love
Yeah,
it.
me too. Yeah.
It's cheesy, but it's cute.
That's pretty cool. Coupon, what questions did you have?
Oh, well, you asked about the OS, so I was gonna ask you about that. What games did you guys play, and were they fun and all that good stuff? I guess. So, Rob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so me and my friend Robert, who also runs a YouTube channel, Gaming With Me, I should say, he also got to come and put a bunch of footage up. So I definitely recommend people check that stuff out. It was a lot of fun that we had. And we both got to play most games there. Jason, it sounds like we probably had the same collection of games you might have had. There was like 14 or 15 games. No surprises, you know, it's like a lot of the stuff everyone had seen. Obviously, Zelda's like the big one. That was the first thing I told this story on my video about it too. We were actually the first people of the day to be able to play Zelda because Robert like beelined right for the setup there, and we got to be the first two people to sit down to do it,
Smart.
which is so radical.
Smart.
It was so cool, man. So I mean, spent a lot of time with Zelda. I spent some good time with Fast Remix because I never played Fast Racing Neo, so I wanted to see what that was like. And
Was that fun?
we talked. Say again.
That was fun. That one.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. I regret not having played Fast Racing Neo on the Wii U. So I'm really excited to actually pick that game up. And the developer was there. We talked with him a lot, and he had a bunch of cool things to say. He like confirmed with me that there is, as of right now, no plans for a physical copy. For example, I was really hoping there would be, but he's like, Nintendo of Japan and Europe is kind of cool with that stuff, but Nintendo of America are harder to push in that direction.
Cheap asses, come over here.
Weird.
Yeah, that's
gamers love our.
unfortunate. Right from the horse's mouth, man. He told me that, so it was unfortunate. But it was still cool to play that. I mean, obviously Splatoon 2. I don't want to take everything from you, Jason, either. Splatoon 2 was so good. Arms, Nia, I know that's your game, Arms, man. Like we spent some time with Arms, and it really is. Again, Jason, I want to hear your take on Arms too.
Well, it'd be interesting to hear different thoughts on what you found.
Yeah, so the main thing I'll say about Arms, and then I'll touch on one more thing, and then Jason, you can take over. But when it comes to Arms, what I noticed, first off, it's beautiful. I thought in person, like, just forget about it. The game is really gorgeous. Simple backgrounds, but the character models and the animations are freaking awesome. So it looks great, but control-wise is the big thing, and to me, I felt like it's weird because you hold the Joy-Cons like in a backwards way in your hand, and like I thought that the punching, and Robert felt the same way, the actual punching works really, really well because you can just punch straight or you can do the turn thing. I'm sure the Treehouse showed that, and like to me, that stuff was really, really solid, and all the button moves were really solid. The thing that I struggled with, again, this is in a demo setting. This isn't the same as like sitting in front of your TV at home, but doing this thing to turn and move, man, that shit is hard. And like your brain is not trained to do that. I kept trying to reach for an analog stick that wasn't there. I was like, oh wait, I got to do this and try to also punch and do that.
Oh,
and it was like, it was awkward, but I want to believe that you could learn it if you're like at home, because this stuff is awesome. Like this really does work, you guys. So it
did you
got
get
me
to
excited.
try it without the motion controls though, or they only had the
No.
motion control version?
I really wish all of the demos where we were only had the Joy-Con stuff set up, and I didn't even think to ask if you could. I was asking them some other question actually. So I don't know if they were allowing people to do that. So all we did was just the motion stuff. So yeah, but ARMS is good. I mean, I was convinced enough. I was like, yeah, I need to own this game. So I decided while I was at the event that I do want to buy into that new IP for the Switch and actually pick that up day one. I mean, there were so many that we did 1-2 Switch, which was hilarious. There's really good video of that too on my channel and on Robert's too. And also like the big touchscreen thing that blew up. Me and Robert, we actually got the Activision guy from Skylanders to show us that. So playing with Skylanders was really neat. And then he showed us the whole touchscreen thing. And I was asking him questions. There's footage I had on Twitter and on my video where I'm actually like asking him if there's multi-touch in it. Because that was the big rumor, was like, is there it's supposed to be multi-touch, but it isn't.
Right.
And he was like weird about it. He was like, I can't, well, I
Not
mean,
allowed to say.
I don't really know. Yeah.
Well, kind of,
like,
sort of
stuttered.
confirmed.
Yeah, he's like, I don't really know. He's like, we don't have that. We just have touch for menus and stuff and showing that stuff off. So Skylanders look great. I've never played it. You know, it's not my thing, but you know, the guy was really nice to talk to us and kind of do like a pseudo interview, show off that touch screen, and god damn, that thing blew up like crazy. I couldn't believe it.
So let me
I'm
ask you
surprised,
this.
like, because like it's a tablet. I would think people would naturally assume it has a touchscreen.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's the thing that caught both of us off guard, especially Robert, because his video was the one that IGN and everyone featured. Like, neither of us really realized that it would have been such a scoop. Like,
that's
I
crazy.
had no
Because
idea.
it just seems like such a simple thing.
I know. Right?
Yeah, like it was pretty odd. I just wanted to know if it was multi-touch, and it really sucked. He couldn't tell tell us if it was multi-touch or not. So
it's so weird that they're like so standoffish about just telling people it has a touchscreen.
I don't know. Maybe they don't want to focus too much on like. Well, I guess I mean they care about HD Rumble, obviously, but maybe they don't want to focus
Ice
too much.
Life.
But maybe they don't want to focus too much on like touchscreen and stuff like that because they don't want people to think that it's like a mobile game platform
or a tablet.
I
like a
guess.
tablet, or even bring up bad memories for some people of the Wii U. Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe
Even
they
though I
don't
love
want to
the Wii U.
associate it with the Wii U in any way.
But then it's like,
I
if you
feel like
build it that
too.
way, why wouldn't you just be proud of it? Like they built it to do that. Like I've seen
Yeah,
it.
like if you're putting
even with
touchscreen in it,
touchscreen.
you obviously have an intention to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let me
So
ask
anyway.
you something real quick
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
ARMS, though. I know you were saying that whenever you're doing like the motions, when you're trying to like, I guess sway from like side to side or whatever, that's kind of awkward. Like, how different is that motion from something like Wii Boxing? Because in Wii Boxing, I remember having to like, stick and move and stuff like that. And like, how was it different from that motion?
Well, I'll give this last thing, and then Jason, I definitely want you to take over. But for me, I would say like the quality, like the responsiveness is on point. So that I'm glad you actually asked that, because I should say that it definitely responds the way you want. It just doesn't feel natural to do it. At least that was my experience. Like if you do this, if you do this, like your character goes where they want. Like it works. It's just like your brain is like analog stick. Where is that thing?
Yeah.
So
That
if,
was
if
the
you're
thing I
gonna
made it
compare the Joy-Con motion tracking compared to even the Wii Plus motion tracking, is it?
Oh, it's like 10
better?
times better. Oh my God. Like not even same. And again, in my opinion, my experience, not even same conversation.
Yeah, no, day and night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm one of the few people that actually likes motion controls. So like to hear
Me
that
too.
it's a lot more
Me too.
responsive
I
like
can't
than
stand
Wii Motion and Wii Motion Plus, like
Alex.
I'm stoked. I can't wait to get my hands on arms. Like really, like
I don't mind motion controls as long as it's.
I'm just
long as
happy
it's
they're not
good.
forcing it on people this
Yeah.
time. Like, so like you guys can enjoy your motion controls and then I can just play normally. Like,
Right.
everyone gets
Yeah.
to enjoy it this time.
But probably like Splatoon, the motion control portion is gonna be better.
I'm curious to use the Pro Controller with the gyros for Splatoon 2. I think that's the best way to
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what we did. That's how we played Splatoon was
So
with
they
You used it
the,
with the Pro Controller?
I
Yeah,
loved,
yeah,
I
it's-
love
Can you
Splatoon 2 with
use
the
the
Pro
other-
controller.
Can you use the Joy-Cons though with it too?
Yeah, you can use Joy-Cons.
For Splatoon?
Mhm.
Really? Like
Oh.
separately?
They didn't have the setup there like that, but
I wonder. Oh my god. If
they did actually. They did have another section. I played at the Pro Controller stand. But they did have other people playing in handheld mode, and that's with. Oh wait, was that with the? Like, there's no reason that you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because aren't all the games compatible with both controllers? Like, it has to be with the Joy-Cons because that's the one that comes with the console.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Joy-Cons can do everything that the Pro Controller can. So
Yeah,
you
it's
should
just
be able to-
separated in your hands, that's all.
Okay.
And I guess it also makes sense too because there's only IR pointing in one of the Joy-Cons, so you might be able
Yeah.
to do it separately.
Yeah,
I don't
you
like
put
with,
you
like,
sl-
the
you slide it
separate
on your
setup.
little gamepad center thing that comes with the Switch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's the ugly dog face controller, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think y'all understand how hype I am for that. Like when I had my Wii, my favorite way to play was with the separated controller. Like, I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
so
another
we-
like
one
a
hand
wire
behind
hiding
my
it.
head.
I love that. But we are at an hour. So I'm going to ask a couple of my questions and then we're going to open it up to our users, our viewers. So a couple of questions that I had that I wanted to ask you, Jason and Robert. How do the joysticks feel on the dog controller, the Joy-Cons? Like, do
the
they
dog
feel
controller.
like, because I know one of my favorite things about the Pro Controller is just how good the sticks feel. Just such a
Yeah.
good feeling controller. Like,
Very well
how do
made.
they compare to this?
So my take on the Joy-Con is they don't get in the way of the game, which is what a good controller should do. Now, if you would give me the option of any controller, I would always pick a Pro controller, an Xbox One controller, or a PlayStation 4 controller over the Joy-Cons.
Right.
Not because the Joy-Cons are uncomfortable, but just because those Pro controllers are more comfortable.
Right.
The Joy-Cons, the joysticks on the Joy-Cons, I think are far better than, say, what you find on the Vita. But
yeah, those are tiny.
yeah, I don't like the Vita.
So they're
analogs.
they're small like Vita.
No, they're bigger. They're bigger than Vita, and they're
Okay.
better than the Vita.
Okay.
Are they the same size as like a PS4 analog, or is it smaller?
I didn't think so, Jason. I don't know if you did, but to me they definitely felt smaller. And
Yeah, I think they're a little smaller.
yeah,
Hmm.
and the main thing too, again, I don't know if you felt this. Like I liked them. They're very quality, but there's not the hugest travel distance with them, and that's probably the closest thing
Right.
to a negative I could say about them. Is like,
Yeah.
and that was like the first thing I played personally was Zelda, which is a big 3D game where you can control your camera. And so you start doing that like normal, and it was like you just barely press it to the
It's
left,
a
and
little
you've already like
cumbersome.
kind of, yeah, and it worked. I mean,
Yes,
that totally
yeah.
worked, but it was like, oh,
I got
maybe a
you.
little
It's like
bit
you have
more.
to do it
Yeah,
a
I
couple more
understand.
times than you normally would.
So I
would-
wonder
I would
if there's
think
gonna
so,
be like a
yeah.
sensitivity meter in Zelda then, like for your camera, like
That seems like it might be a little problematic for shooting games.
yeah. If you're not used to
Potentially,
like that
yeah.
high of a
Yeah,
sensitivity,
if you're
for
not using
your-
gyros.
Yeah.
like it feels, I mean, it definitely gets the job done. There's no question about it. Like if you just had your Joy-Cons and all you could use is those analog sticks, like I feel like you could still play any game, like any 3D game with a camera, or even like a shooter like a Call of Duty. And like you guys brought up like the fighting game, and like that one I guess I could see maybe started being a problem, but really I don't think there's anything you couldn't really do with the Joy-Cons. And they're so well built, they feel good, but you have to adjust to the differences of those analog sticks because they don't travel as far. Like Neil, you're holding up like the really awesome Pro controller sticks. They don't feel that good. I don't.
Yeah.
think
Right.
They don't feel
Actually, was it bizarre not having a D-pad?
That's a great question.
I didn't run into it. And Jason, I don't know if you did or.
I don't think so, but I do have a friend, Shane from Ramirez, who is obsessed with controllers. So if you, and he was hating on the Switch and these new controllers because of the lack of D-pad, and he went to the same event I did, and he came out of there loving everything he saw, and he's now like
Sweet.
a believer. So
That's
Oh,
if he loves
He's a
the new
believer.
configuration, I think it's good
that's
because
good.
he's way more snobby than I am on the controllers.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so as far as the Pro controller is concerned, I'm not like a controller snob or anything, but when I have a controller, I like a good controller that's got a little weight to it. That's one of the reasons why the Xbox One controller is one of my favorite controllers.
It's the best
Really
controller.
good and weighty. It feels good in your hands. You don't feel like it's gonna fly out, fly away while you're playing your game. So, my question to you is, for the Pro controller, does it have a good weight to it? Does it feel too light? Does it feel too heavy? What is the
It's no.
texture? Is it too plasticky?
No Xbox One.
Okay.
It is a little bit more plasticky, like not a bad. It's not like a matte finish. But it's not the best of those types of controllers. Like if you're looking for that kind of having more weight to it, I think the Xbox One is heavier than the Switch Pro controller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I would
not,
say
not quite as premium.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't know if I would personally, if I would say not quite as premium. I definitely agree with you. Like the Xbox One controller is like my favorite controller in a really long time, and I do think that, Jason, I might agree with you that there's like a slight edge to the Xbox One controller. I only had 3 hours with the darn thing, and for me, it was a month ago. Like you actually played it, I think, just this past weekend, so you're more fresh with it. But it still, to me, felt really quality. It did feel weighty and beefy, like. Because like the Wii U Pro controller is really light, and like,
Very
really
light,
very, very light.
yeah, and it's nothing like that. It's nothing. And the Wii
there's
Pro
nothing
controller
in
is
here.
great.
There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing in there. Like,
Yeah, because
there's
that controller is
so
just
much
pretty much empty plastic and a gyro.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are getting a little
There's
bit
lot
more
of-
functionality out of the
That's
Switch
true.
Pro controller.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Like, you do get the
ship and the gyros.
And that, yeah, just that like playing Splatoon with a Pro controller and not needing to have a big tablet in your hands was like a game changer for me. I'm like, wow, this just
that
feels
would
so
make
good
it a
to
lot
play
more
Splatoon.
fun.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was awesome. Again, I'm gonna keep plugging myself. I have so much footage of me playing Splatoon with that Pro controller too, and I have like a little thing where I like it picked it up and I'm like showing how responsive it is with the controller, and then like I'm actually, both me and Robert actually are filmed playing it, and it felt great. I mean, it really felt great. Yeah.
I can't wait.
And I love the gamepad for that game too. Like I was really big on using the screen and looking at the map and touching where to go. And I was sad to lose that, but there's no doubt that the Pro controller easily pulls it off. Just like Jason, just like you were saying, man, like it works. It really works.
Like I'm a sub to this guy. He's mostly like an Xbox guy. Shout outs to my boy Fame Entertainment. And he's like in love with the idea of the Switch. But he was telling me, he had a vlog where he was talking about how him and like, his crew who were there, they were covering PAX's media. And he loved Splatoon, but he just really couldn't get with motion controllers. And I'm just like saying, like, I remember when the original Splatoon first came out, I hated the motion. But then one day I just like, okay, well, let me give it another try. I gave it another try, and then after that I was like, okay, I see.
Yeah, it is the superior way to play.
It's the superior way.
It is.
Yeah,
It really
it's the closest thing to mouse and keyboard.
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing that makes me feel, when I take that same idea to ARMS, that's what makes me feel like it just probably takes the adjustment to get used to it, because Splatoon felt weird at first, right? But then we're probably all people who realize that is the way to play. Like, definitely just do that. So I'm like hoping ARMS kind of is going to be the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I have one quick question.
The only difference with ARMS, I think, with ARMS is like you could eventually tire yourself, whereas playing normally, there's no real disadvantage.
True.
Whereas Splatoon, you're just like moving a little bit, so I don't.
True. All right, Coupon, you have a quick question?
Yeah, quick question. I'm pretty sure we all wanted to know this. So the seamlessness of removing the Switch, from its docking station into handheld mode, how fast?
It's faster in TV to tablet mode. It's almost instant, and tablet to TV, it's like a second or two.
Okay, so it's pretty seamless though.
It's really seamless. It's I remember one of the demos we did. I think it was the Fast RMX guy. He like counted. He was like, "Oh, you checked it." He has like a German accent or something. He's like, "Oh, you put this down, you do this," You plug it in, 1, 2, 3, boom, and then like that's right when it came on the TV. So it was really funny. But definitely what Jason said, like as soon as you pick it up, it's in your hand, man. It is like instant, yeah.
Okay. Did any of the reps talk about the dock specifically? Does it actually do anything other than act to pass through to the TV?
I didn't have that combo. I don't know if you did, Jason.
No, I don't have any insight on that.
Because it's $90. I want to know what
Right,
it does.
right.
$90. Like,
It's so
what does it
unfortunate.
do?
I looked at it up close. You know, I opened up the back end. I was like, I don't know. Like the back has nothing. It's that small. I think that little small front of the dock. Yeah, open it. They said there's like proprietary tech in there, and I think that's where it is in the front.
What exactly does that mean?
It means $90.
That's what it means.
That's what to Nintendo it means $90.
Okay, I have one more question, and then I'm going to turn it over to our viewers. So, don't get mad at me, but I have to ask. I love the art style in Splatoon 1. But one thing about Splatoon 1 that kind of messed me up a little bit at first is all them jaggies. I know it was like a low budget game for Nintendo. It was a risky thing for them, so they didn't spend a whole lot of time making it. So with Splatoon 2, my question is there a little bit more production value in Splatoon 2 than there was in Splatoon 1?
Jason, you can go for it, man.
I was looking hard to notice the difference, and I'd be lying if I said I actually did see a difference. It looked very similar.
Okay.
It's probably recycled assets.
I'll mostly agree with that. I think that there's probably a bunch of slight things that look better. And like on the jaggy front, I don't know if you remember, Jason. I feel like on the jaggy front, it's a little bit better, Nia. I think I might be able to say that, but it feels for the most part like it's borderline almost the same engine.
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you mean
jaggy
jaggy parts? Like the character models are jaggy? Is what?
I think that's what, right, Nia? Is that what you mean? Like,
I mean, everything in Splatoon is jaggy. Like, if you go back and play that game like that game is jaggy central.
Yeah, because there's
Fun
no...
game, beautiful game, but
it's
jaggy
720p
central.
with no anti-aliasing, so there's a lot of jaggy edges everywhere.
It's a lot of jaggy. I don't know if maybe it's because I'm playing on, like, my 1080p monitor, but it's
well,
crazy.
and compared to, like, Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, which have, like, none of that, I can
yeah, especially Mario Kart Deluxe, because they bumped it up to 1080 now. That should be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Splatoon 2 because it still looks really, really good. It's
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I have to agree with how Jason put it, where it's like I'd almost be lying if I said it looked a lot better because I can't say in my memory that it looked a lot better.
Well, considering how fast they brought it out, I don't expect them to make it all that different.
Yeah. And like you guys said, it's probably the same engine. But one thing I did notice from watching everybody's gameplay is that the animations are definitely a lot more improved. Like they're not
like the character movements.
Yeah, like they're a lot more agile.
I'd say the production value and just the whole presentation definitely that felt like a big step up.
Like even like the menus and stuff, like they look so like polished. Like just looking at.
I didn't really get into the menus. I don't know if you did, Jason, but we didn't really get to do that part, sadly. So I don't know.
Yeah, we were.
How is the I guess I forgot to ask this earlier. The quality of the screen on the actual tablet, playing in tablet mode.
Oh man,
ever.
excellent screen. That's good.
It looks really, really good. That screen is, and again, it was something else you were saying, Jason, like how they got all this stuff on that screen. Like you literally, at least for me, I almost felt the couple of games I played on the screen, which Zelda's one of the things that let you play for like 10 or 15 minutes on the screen. You almost forget that you're holding a little mini screen. You just get so sucked into it.
Yeah.
And it's so bright and vibrant and just damn high quality. Like
and
really
so light. It's lighter than the new 3DS or than the 3DS XL.
Oh wow.
I believe that. Yeah, I definitely believe it. It really
it is. We checked it. It is so.
Oh, there you go. Even better.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and transition to our viewer questions, and I have a question from KAG. Shout outs to KAG, King Avery Games. He's got a dope channel. Go check him out and sub. We gonna have you on here one day, my boy. So he asked, "What was your favorite demo game?" So I guess I'll go ahead and give it to Jason first.
Sure. My favorite. So I didn't play Zelda because I'm I didn't want to spoil any of that. I'm just gonna go in a cave for a week and play that.
I'm with you.
Wow, you didn't play Zelda at all. That's impressive.
Hey, his reasoning though, I wholeheartedly agree with.
Yeah, I actually like his reasoning.
Like, I don't want to play it and then wait a month to be you have to wait a month to play more. I don't know how you're doing that.
I get it. That's very smart. I get it.
And besides, we all know it's going to be amazing. So I don't need to like be teased like that.
Right.
One of my biggest surprises was probably between, like, I already knew Mario Kart 8 would be good and stuff. Snipper Clips was a surprise I discovered online already, and it turned out good. My favorite would have to be between Splatoon 2 and Sonic Mania, simply because I was a Sega kid. Like, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and I loved Sonic. Followed the cartoon, had the comic book series for a long time, and Sonic Mania plays exactly the way that it did back in the Sega Genesis.
Oh, that's good.
Days. Like it's so good. The sound effects, how it moves, the physics.
It's like the closest thing we've had for a while.
Tails is useless again, which is great. Like,
yes, as you should be.
Useless Tails, wonderful.
Like, if Sonic speeds up, like, Tails is gone. So you give that to your little brother.
That's how it should be. Nobody should.
That is so funny. Oh my god. So I got like 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna give it over to Alex so he could give his for his chat. So KAG also asked, which one looked better, neon or gray?
Ooh, I mean, those neon ones in person, they actually look pretty good.
Really?
I mean,
sharp.
Good.
they were surprising. Like, once you see them in person, it's like, wow, it doesn't look like a kiddie toy like it kind of you thought when you saw it at Tokyo.
In the pictures, it doesn't look that good.
It looks pretty slick in person. I'm gonna say I would not have been sad if that was the one that I was getting. So which one looks better? I mean the gray is so uniform, and gray is like cooler, so it's kind of hard not to say gray. But don't sleep on those colored ones, man. They do not look bad. I didn't think in person. So,
yeah, I'm boring. I just pre-ordered the gray.
I got the gray.
The
The gray will fit in an entertainment system better.
Yeah, but you look at the like blue and red. After you see it in person, you're like, I need this. I need color in my life.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Like, it's not like you
Okay, so let me ask one more question. Somebody asked that you describe your experiences with the HD Rumble, and I want to add to that: is the HD Rumble really that awesome enough that warranted that 20 minutes?
Warranted 20 minutes.
Have you ever felt balls moving around your controller so precisely? The answer is no.
The answer is no. Definitely not. Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, I could rave about HD Rumble to like the moon and back, you guys. So I know it's like 20 minutes at the event and all that stuff, and I get it. And like Alex, I know it's not your thing, so I totally get where you're coming from. But I discovered at that Tokyo event, and then more so at New York, that it is my thing, because it's really freaking cool tech. And it sounds like, Jason, you agree. It's really impressive what they did, and it doesn't feel cheap. Like, you can tell they really, really cared about it. And it was the thing, I said this like at the Tokyo event, I didn't expect to be surprised by the Joy-Cons. I thought they were just controllers.
Yeah.
And so they spent that 20 minutes showing that stuff off. I was like, this is badass. Like, this is really cool stuff. I like that Nintendo's doing this. And then using it in person, I mean, 1-2 Switch is the game that we played that most showed it off. And it was really cool. And it's exactly, there's no other way to put it other than to say it's exactly what they said it was. Like, the dude's all like, oh, I got 1, 2, 3 ice cubes. Like, you do that. It's like exactly what it is. And you can like, because it'll travel from one side to the other, just like you were saying, Jason, as you move it, and it
it's like there's something
works
inside the controller, and not just something like that vibrates, but something that you can actually move inside the controller. And I'm thinking of gameplay
like
elements for this, and like an idea I could have is, let's say you're playing a Zelda game and your companion goes from the screen and like comes at you, and then you like feel it in your hand and it moves around in your hand, and you could actually feel exactly like a bug in your hand almost. Like
Jason, let me ask you Jason, if you felt this, because me and Robert kind of talked about this a lot. Did you feel like it almost changed how heavy you thought the Joy-Cons were in your hand? Because that was it was almost like creating, like, my mind was being tricked into thinking there was more weight in it based on how many marbles I thought were in it. And then when we did the awesome cow milking thing, man, I got to
that wasn't as great as I hoped it would be. I didn't quite feel all that milk.
I did as I got better near the end, but at first it was like, what is even going on here? But anyway, yeah, that was like a weird little side effect, and I wasn't sure if you felt the same thing. Like both Robert and I felt like it kind of changed. Your brain thinks it's maybe heavier than it is, or it's getting heavier as you're messing with it, and that was really cool. It was really weird.
So you heard it first, folks. If you want to feel the nice sensation of balls in your hands,
there's only one way.
Check out that HD Rumble on those Joy-Cons.
Cows, man.
That should be part of their advertisement. Like, get the Switch. We got balls.
You got balls. How many balls you got to buy to find out?
Oh man. All right, so Alex, you can go ahead and do your viewer questions.
Let's see here. Do you think the Switch will get a sequel to The Last Story? I would hope so. What Xseed makes that, right?
I think
they just
published it.
They just published
Mistwalker. It was a Mistwalker game, I think, right?
It was Mistwalker. Yep.
Are they still around?
I think so.
I think so. I don't know what they're up to lately.
I mean, I think that just has to do with how that relationship is continuing. I don't know how well that game did. It's a great game. I have
very good game. That's one of my favorite games on the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I have the special edition thing too that I got. From
me too, with the book and stuff.
Yeah, good call. It's really rare, that thing, actually.
Very rare.
I wish I would have picked that one up. I hear so many good things about it, but I ended up getting Pandora's Tower out of the three.
Which is also apparently really good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really fun game. Hey,
oh, you have
it
too. Okay, so three of us have it.
I'm just gonna come and get your copy. I'm just gonna go to Coupon's house. I can literally do that, but I still haven't yet. I'm trash.
I wish.
I am trash. She's like literally like an hour and a half from me, and I've yet.
Man, y'all gotta hang out. Come on,
we
gotta do a collab.
We do.
We literally need to do a collab. Like a day out with Coupon.
That's why I say I'm trash, man. I'm trash. All right, Alex. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take up your time.
Yeah, no worries. How many units do you think the Switch will sell in its first year?
In its first year.
No idea.
Go ahead, Jason, if you want to.
I'm gonna shoot just for a number 7-8 million ballpark off the top of my head.
I mean, I would say 8 or 9. So same kind of ballpark. Yeah, I know some people say as high as 10. I don't know what you guys think.
I say between 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like, how many are they gonna produce? Because like these things are flying off the shelves.
Yeah,
they're not gonna be able to keep it in stock, just like the Wii.
I think that the
holiday
first month will be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a holiday month with a brand new Mario game, like
probably
forget about it.
And everything that they're gonna reveal at E3, like it's gonna be a
Yep.
meaty E3. It has to be.
E3 is about to be lit.
To me, I don't know about you guys,
it.
but I felt that presentation was kind of lackluster because they're
E3
saving a lot for
Right.
E3.
Yeah, I would believe that.
If E3 ain't
I
lit,
hope
I'm gonna
so.
be mad. Low key.
I'm just gonna assume that they have a lot of.
Because like I'm under the assumption we're gonna see Retro's game at E3.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see some other exclusive stuff from third
Well,
parties.
Reggie did pretty much come out and almost say there's a Metroid game being announced in the next year.
Yeah,
He sure
He's
did.
like, ask me again in a year from now. Where
He
Metroid
sure did. He sure did. And people keep forgetting that Retro can make 2 games at once. Not saying that Retro's the one doing it, but if they were, they can make 2 games at once now. So.
Okay, we already answered that one. What? Which hidden fees are you buying at launch?
Which hidden fees am I buying? Well, I guess my hidden fee I'm probably getting is another micro SD. Probably.
Yeah,
Getting
definitely an SD
hidden
card.
games?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta get some games too.
Oh yeah, and games, of course. That's another
And
hidden
games,
cost. So
of
I'm
course.
gonna be getting a game, which is one hidden cost, and then another hidden cost is gonna be.
I was just gonna buy the Switch and look at it and being like,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
But the Switch is a hidden cost, man. You're
Oh,
feeding
that's
the
true.
beast.
I think I'm getting every hidden cost. I'm getting Zelda. I'm getting a Pro Controller. I'm getting a SD card. They got me.
You're just playing
There
into
you
their
go,
hands.
hidden cost.
Oh my gosh. So
Let's
funny.
see.
Which hidden cost are you getting?
So many.
It's a good question.
So funny.
What are your reactions to Japanese devs being surprised the Switch is only $300?
So, I mean, I think that sounded like great news, right? Because the more, if people who really know this thing well enough to make games on it are surprised by that price, it means they feel it could be worth more. that there's enough in it to justify $350 or $400, and in which case it means Nintendo A is giving us a really good deal, and B, this thing might actually be a lot beefier than we've been led to believe, which a lot of us want. Like, I don't need great power, but I would love to learn this thing is more powerful than we think.
I agree with that.
Sounds like a good
I'm not holding out hope.
I mean, me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither, man.
Like at the end of the day, it's a mobile processor. We kind of seen the power level. It's like a mobile Wii U, which is not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing. We know. Yeah. But to add a little, not that I disagree with you, but to add a little bit of a counter to that, Japanese developers aren't as power hungry as Western developers either.
They don't care.
So they don't really.
That's a good point.
They don't really need a whole lot of beefed up, hardware.
I think they look more at what the features of the console can offer as opposed to what kind of power it has.
Exactly.
I think that HD Rumble got them.
Maybe.
They love that shit.
Could be. I mean, I tell you what, having used it, I feel like there was a lot of money that went into that tech. I really feel like
I feel like a lot of the cost of the Switch comes from those Joy-Cons and for some reason the dock.
Yeah, that's the hidden cost. That's the big mistake.
That is definitely a little extra. Definitely. Now I can agree that dock should not be $90.
Unless there's something in there you ain't telling us about.
Right.
I think that's all my questions here. Oh wait. Blah 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 blah. Regarding the Chinese leaker, if he got everything right so far, why do people deny his CPU analysis? What did he say about the CPU?
I'm not familiar with that at all.
Apparently, he's saying that there were two versions of the Nintendo Switch. One was a dev kit.
Oh, Coupon.
I think Coupon might have like her webcam mic registered and not her headset mic.
Maybe it's because the mics are too close together.
Yeah, I can't use my headset mic for some odd reason.
Okay, but apparently one of the like an earlier dev kit that had gone out was the one with the Maxwell chip, and then there was another development kit that is supposedly having the Pascal chip inside. So there's that rumor that when the Nintendo Switch does eventually go to retail, that it's probably going to have the stronger chip inside.
Right.
That's the rumor.
We'll see, I guess. Like, it's not a huge difference. Like, it's mainly just power draw. There's less power being consumed.
That's what I keep trying to tell people.
I think people are just so like hungry to learn that maybe the Switch is like way more powerful than it probably is, and it's just a conversation that people want.
You can see the kind of power it has by looking at the games it's getting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like you can visually see what kind of experience you're gonna get.
To those of the people who want like this monster thing in like a portable form factor,
it's just not happening.
It's not
if you want that, go buy an Alienware laptop.
Y'all just gotta be honest with yourselves at this point. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, but I mean, I have to say, I still, we probably all here mostly agree with this. Like, I don't even care that it's not going to be like the most powerful thing.
I just want new games from Nintendo. That's really because that's what we've been missing for the last like 2 years.
This whole generation, we've been missing new games.
All I want is new Nintendo games that are like something that they put their hearts and souls into, not little crap like Amiibo Festival. And I hear that Paper Mario Color Splash is a good game. I don't want to discredit Color Splash, but I want like meaty Nintendo games, and that's what we're going to be getting in 2017, and I hope that they continue going forward.
Like, I think we're all in the same kind of situation here. We all have multiple devices. We all play games on other consoles, which will get third-party games. So, like, that's not really the priority for the Switch for most of us, I would assume. I think we're all getting it for the same reason. That's Nintendo games. And for what they do, the hardware is more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you can take your experiences on the go. So that's pretty awesome.
And for me, it's also the fact that, and again, I know, Alex, this isn't your thing, but the controllers and those Joy-Cons, like, that's the other thing. I'm excited to get like a new Nintendo console, new Nintendo games, and I'm excited to see if they can deliver on this new tech that they use, because like the Wii started strong and then that faded. The Wii U they never really delivered on at all. But this, I so believe in these Joy-Cons, so I want to see like Nintendo's next thing that they're trying to
Yeah.
do. I want to see if they really make this work the way I
They
think it can work.
yeah, and
Right,
they
and like
need to
again,
actually
like I
use
don't mind that
them.
they have the Joy-Cons and stuff because they're not forcing it down our throats this time.
Yeah,
But
I
if
talked about
they're
that on
gonna
my
have
thing,
them,
man.
they need to use them though. They can't. We can't have another situation.
I feel
with
like
the
every
Wii U, they
game has
barely
to
it.
use Joy-Con and Pro Controller. No segregating games this time like with the Wii U. Like half the games can use a Pro Controller, but
I
most
think
of them only use the gamepad. Like I
Yeah.
hated
the
that.
overwhelming majority, I would agree with you. I think that there's a little bit of room for a couple of titles here and there to squeeze by and be something that's kind of Joy-Con heavy, but for the most
Well,
part,
that's stuff
I agree
like
with
one
you.
two
That's
switch to like tech demo games.
yeah, but I wouldn't even mind something a little bit more actually like a game. But I do still ultimately agree with you. I think the best win Nintendo can do to keep like intact the integrity that makes Nintendo, but then also appeal to everyone like they're trying to. They need to do that. That
Yeah.
Pro
I
Controller
think
needs
that's
to
the
work with
coolest
every
thing
game.
about the Switch because
true.
it's the console that appeals to all their fans. It appeals to the casual
Yeah.
guys from the Wii. It appeals to the handheld 3DS guys, and it appeals to the more traditional home console guys.
And the motion control people like me.
Yeah,
Exactly,
well, yeah,
yeah.
the motion control weirdos, I guess. Whatever. you guys get a console as
Emotion
well.
weirdos.
And that's why
I'm
I'm
gonna become
like
a Rumble
excited for
weirdo.
the Switch. It's finally the console that I think they got right
Yeah.
because
I
they're
think
finally
so,
catering
too.
to their entire fan base this time.
Yeah, I agree with that. And to kind of piggyback on the whole power thing, like not to go back to that, but like I said in the last podcast, like once you have, not to sound like an elitist, but once you have like a gaming PC, everything on consoles looks like whatever.
It changes
You're
your
not
perception
impressed.
of power.
Yeah, like you're not impressed. So really, like what I want is games. Like give me games.
Yeah.
Give me an experience that I can't get anywhere else. That's what I really want from the Nintendo Switch. And don't get me wrong, I do think that the Nintendo Switch should have third-party games because there's a lot of people out there that can't afford multiple systems that are Nintendo fans, and those people should be able to experience versatility in their library. For me, it's not a big deal, but I don't want people out there in the chat and viewing this to feel that anybody on this panel, you know, doesn't think that the thing should have like a versatile library. It definitely should,
Right.
but just for a lot of us, we own pretty much all the consoles, so it's like we just want the good Nintendo games. So I mean, I can't speak for y'all, but for me, I just want good Nintendo games.
I used to be under the impression that Nintendo needed to make an Xbox with a Nintendo symbol on it, just a normal console. But I think they made the right choice, making it a hybrid, because they guarantee this time around they're going to be focusing on making more games on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Which solves a lot of their issues that they had last gen, because we all know like their focus was the 3DS. But this time, obviously, everyone's going to be working on the Switch. The 3DS is going to die in 2018.
People keep
And
saying
it's
like,
gonna
the
be
3DS
just
is gonna keep kicking. Like I'm telling y'all, that 3DS is gone after this year. It might have a sprinkle of games
that's for
next year,
everyone's
but
benefit,
not from
though.
Nintendo. It's not
Like that's for
happening.
everyone's benefit. The 3DS has been out what 5 years already, 6 years at that point. So like it makes
6
sense.
years
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3DS.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, it came out 2011.
So, yeah.
So by 2018, that'll be its 7th year. So it needs to go. So you might as well focus on the Switch.
I mean,
and make sure
I
everyone
love
has
the
games.
3DS, and I would like to see it continue, but it really, I mean, it has been
It
technically
had
outdated
its
for a bit.
time.
It had its time. It had a great
time.
run.
Yeah.
But like, if you think about it this way, the upgrade that people are going to get from going from a 3DS to a Switch is massive.
Yeah.
You're going from 240p up to 720p or 1080p versus people like us who played on the Wii U primarily. It's you're not really upgrading for the most part. You're upgrading the amount of games you're getting, but the actual experience, the visual quality and whatever, it's the same. But for 3DS owners, this is a massive upgrade for them.
Like my homegirl Erica's for the win. Shout outs to Erica. She's got a dope channel as well. I'm plugging a lot of people tonight.
Yeah, she's a beast.
Check her out. She's a beast. She's like, she grew up like a Nintendo girl. Like she's a Nintendo fan, but she skipped out on the Wii U because, like, let's face it, the Wii U had a lot of problems, right? So she got her Nintendo gaming from her 3DS. So imagine people like Erica going from The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Right.
That's
a
gonna
big
be
jump.
That's a huge
jump for her. So I think a lot of people, especially the 3DS guys that skipped out on the Wii U, which I think
is
it's
a lot of
probably
them.
a lot of them, they're gonna have a prime Nintendo experience on this thing. They got
Yeah.
a lot to look forward to. And she's excited about Splatoon. She's excited about Mario Kart because she hadn't had a chance to play them on the Wii U because she didn't have
Right.
one. So I think
I'm
Yeah,
kind of
there's
surprised
nothing
they didn't put Splatoon on the 3DS. I thought they were gonna do that.
But hey,
I
but
kind of
now
thought
the
so too,
people,
actually.
yeah. But now the people who wanted Splatoon on the 3DS get to have a portable version of Splatoon.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people who wanted a portable version of Splatoon. So that works out for everybody. So I think that we've gone as far as we could go with all these topics. We have reached an hour and a half and some change. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'm gonna go ahead and go across all of our people in the panel, and we're gonna give our outros and let you guys know where you can find us and what to look forward to on our channels going forward. So I'm gonna start from right to left this time since I started from left to right in the beginning. So Robert, not Robert. I don't mean to call you Robert.
What are you, my mom? I'm Rob.
I feel like I was like your mama low key. Rob, go ahead and tell us where they can tell the people where they can find you and what you plan on doing with your channel in the future.
For sure, yeah. So again, my name is Rob, and the name of my channel is called Rule of Two Review. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm really active on Twitter, so you can find me, of course, on Twitter, Rule of Two Review as well. And I mean, it's like for the majority of my channel, it's just this, you know, it's just me sitting in this chair, usually talking and gabbing about games and all that stuff. Having been able to get hands-on with the Switch kind of gives you a really cool perspective on the videos you can make, like in this hype build up to the release of the console. So I feel really fortunate that I'm able to do that. Jason, you've got the same advantage. I mean, we're like literally exactly 1 month away.
Yeah.
It's so freaking crazy.
It's crazy.
To think about.
Yeah.
And I am not strong. I did spend 2 different times playing Zelda at that thing. So I'm really freaking dying.
I probably
it was
down too.
it was the first
It's like
and last
crack.
thing
You
that
get a
we
little
did.
bit.
I know.
I got just a little bit of that crack, and I need the rest of it. So, but yeah, that's what I do. You know, it's just a fun channel, just talking about that stuff. Really good friends with you guys. It was really good to be able to do this and kind of hang out with you guys, even though I jumped in after you started. And Jason, it was super awesome to meet you and hear you talk about your hands-on time with the Switch. Also, I've got a bunch of footage of the Switch on my channel too. My really good friend who I got to bring with me, again, his channel is Gaming With Me. And he's got that whole touchscreen thing that blew up that everyone saw. He's got a bunch of really cool Switch footage too. So if you guys want to see that stuff, you can check out my channel. You can check out Gaming With Me's channel. And Jason, maybe you'll get some stuff up hopefully too. But yeah, this was a blast, man. Thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun.
No problem. Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah.
All right, Coupon, tell the people what's going on with you.
Yeah, here, man. I don't want it to get all out of them. But yeah, you can find me on my channel for Fun Strives. I also I be streaming on both YouTube and Twitter, whatever. Twitch is Coupon, and yeah, just kind of randomly streaming, doing my thing, talking to the folks as they ask me questions, and I answer them, and you know, talk a lot of shit and have fun. It's just all about the game. So you can find me over there.
Cool. All right, so now I'm gonna give it on over to Jason.
Sure. So you can find me over at HeyJay. I've been in the chat, so you can find me there. I have a vlog that I did right after my impressions with the Switch. So it's like a 25-minute vlog. If you want to hear a detailed thought on every game I played and the hardware, you can check me out there, and I will say that I am here in the chat if you want to find me. You can also find me on Nintendo Enthusiast, where I have some big projects that there's like a documentary there on the history of Nintendo at E3, things like that. They're more high production stuff. So if you are a Nintendo fan, you want to check those out. Nintendo Enthusiasts is where you'll find those. And thanks again, Nia, for the invite. It was fun being here and fun talking with you guys.
Yay, no problem. All right, now Alex.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Active Sin here. Of course, you can find me on YouTube at Active Sin. I just want to give a shout out to our buddies here, Jason and Rob, for coming out, giving us their impressions of the Switch since they did get to test it out, which is always nice. Thanks for dropping by, guys. Of course, we do our show every Tuesday, same time, same channels. And yeah, so just come back next week.
For sure. And as you guys know, as always, it is your girl, Nia, the Video Game Her. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I feel like our viewership is getting, like, it's increasing every week. Like, that makes me happy. Like,
On the up.
yes, let's keep it going. Like, share us, you know, tweet us out, do whatever you got to do to make sure that you get your friends, your homies, your aunties, your grannies, everybody up in this piece, so we
Your
can
whole
talk
family.
about. Get your whole family, everybody up in here, so we can talk about some Nintendo stuff, what's going on in Nintendo news. If you are a Nintendo fan, I recommend subscribing to all of the people on the panel. They have a lot of good opinions, and I think that we're pretty fair and balanced. No matter if it's good or it's bad, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna give our opinions on it, and that's just what it is. Especially on my channel, I keep it 100%. If I feel like something, I'm gonna tell you. So that's just me. So don't forget to like this when it goes archive, when it goes up live after this, and I will put everybody's links in the description so that you guys will have an easy way to find them. Thank you guys so much for coming out once again to Team Red Talks Nintendo, and we will see you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And what is that, Pacific? 7 p.m. Pacific Time if you're on the West Coast. So thank you guys, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.